Hi, welcome to my review channel. I'm Patrick, and today I'll be reviewing a book which, even though it's generated 2 decades worth of discussion and analysis, is still easily one of the most unique books you'll ever pick up. It's hard to give a simple plot synopsis of this book, because it's in fact a nesting doll of multiple storylines, and these multiple storylines are conveyed through unusual page formatting, which is pretty immediately obvious once you actually open the book. But the central plotline is this. An ordinary family discovers that their house is slightly larger on the inside than it is on the outside, and that it has a habit of growing new doors that weren't there when they last looked. This fixation on architecture and the sense of space as a source of horror in its own right is what defines this novel, and creates an atmosphere of claustrophobia and uncanniness through the medium of the novel itself. But that theme of architectural horror, which was fresh at the time, feels a little more rote today. It's cropped up in stories like 2004's The Dianea House, 2019's viral internet story The Backrooms, 2020's Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, countless blogs about liminal spaces, and most recently, the space behind my bedroom walls, which would be utterly unremarkable to the point of non-existence, if not for the sounds that emanate from inside them at 12:30 AM some nights. Presumably from a family of rodents, whose delicate claws create unpredictable tapping sounds which reverberate inside the hollows of the plasterboard. The rats, if that's what they are, have found a home inside my home, a house inside my house. But the word inside feels inappropriate. They exist in something, which I've called a house, but it's something which is not supposed to have an inside, barely even a something, a mere wall, a pure periphery, functioning as a world of unseen but heard rodents in their own society. Or maybe they're not a society, too disorganized and unfriendly, always entering the not inside among the cockroaches and tussling for what little warmth they can scrape for, sometimes losing their way forever on the bolded lines of this house's floor plan. Perhaps it's better to call it a labyrinth. An accidental labyrinth, formed by the arterial walls of my warm, homely room, the actual inside of which the creatures will never see. I wonder if the strange corridors we humans wander, the dead ends and turns of the great and winding houses we spend each of our lives in, is itself a labyrinth, one that is not supposed to be solved, let alone lived inside. Maybe this world is an inside that should not be an inside, a plasterboard hollow of the walls in a much larger house, made by inhabitants whose designs we cannot possibly understand. And what are we to them? Non-existent, except maybe for obnoxious midnight noises, tapping through their walls to an audience that cannot see us, who granted us our home by pure accident. And if we differ from the rats by realizing our place in the greater house, are we any better than them? Does our scurrying carry any greater meaning to the hosts who erected our little wall? 5 stars.